Hey, welcome back to how I published my first small game within a month. If you haven't watched the previous video, I recommend you to start there because I will continue with where we left off. As I mentioned, I was not happy with the flow of the current game, so I decided to make some big changes. I placed big walls in the shape of a hexagon around the map and divided the world in 3 areas. I removed the excess trees and foliage around the walls. My new idea is that you start in the first area, complete some puzzles, and eventually progress to area 2. And then you complete some more puzzles and you progress to area 3. After that, the big portal in the middle of the map will open up and you complete the game by jumping in the portal. For opening the portal, you need 3 crystal balls and 1 can be collected per area. I thought it would be fun to reuse the eggs that I made in a previous video. You can collect them by completing small puzzles scattered throughout the map and then place them on a special altar, and after enough eggs have been collected, the altar will open up and give you one of the crystal balls. After modeling an altar in Blender and making custom textures in Substance Painter, it was time to test out the new altar. You can pick up an egg and when you release it on the altar, the egg will float to one of the standards. After that, a small power-up sequence will start, so that indicates that 1 egg has been added to the altar. I made some custom walls and replaced the old walls that I used as a placeholder. However, I decided I need to make some big changes, since the layout of the land was not working anymore. So I started by removing all the trees and foliage and reshaped the landscape. I was also not happy anymore, since the old portal was a square with 4 pillars. Because of my new ideas, I thought it would be better to have a portal in the shape of a triangle, so it would be a better fit for the layout of the walls, and 1 pillar represents 1 area. After placing the base of the portal, it was time for a short walk through the now empty world. There are still some old puzzles that I worked on, but I never made it in the final release of the game. Now it was time to work on the first puzzle. The idea is that you walk through the main gate and directly face the first puzzle. In the ground are stones that move up when spinning one of the magic stones. After working on some blueprint logic, I had the basics working. However, later on, I added a timer to the stones so that you have to spin the magic stones in a special order, or otherwise you will not be able to be fast enough for jumping to the next part. After that, I had the idea to jump on a button that in turn will activate a floating platform. However, also for this I added a time component to it, so that you have to walk on the buttons in a specific order, or otherwise you will not make it to the other side. I also worked on a new mechanism that I have not mentioned in this video or in the previous video. I worked on this mechanism during my live streams on Twitch. So if you have not, please also follow me there so you can see how I develop my games, but in a slower tempo. Check out the description below the video to find my Twitch channel. But to summarize, I made golden runes, and these golden runes spawn in random locations throughout the area, so you have to search for them. When you have found them, you can place them in a socket with the same symbol on it. In this case, it will activate the structure in the middle of the lake, so you can now collect the egg on top of the structure. I also made it that your player can die when touching the water. This made it easier to separate some of the puzzles and make some of the puzzles harder to complete. However, when you would die, you would respawn at the beginning of the game. So I went into Blender and modeled a simple restore point. When you reach a certain part in the area, it is possible to activate the restore point, and when you die, you will respawn at that point and you don't have to complete all the previous puzzles again. However, the deadline that I set for myself was getting closer and closer. It was clear to me that I was not able to complete all 3 areas and fill them with puzzles and have it looking the way that I want. So I decided to focus on the first area and not work on area 2 and 3. I wanted the player to have enough puzzles and be able to collect enough eggs that can be placed on the altar. So I created a new area that I will not uncover in detail in this video. It contains new puzzles that you have to solve on your own if you want to experience this area yourself, and hopefully you are able to collect all of the eggs and experience what happens when you place all the eggs on the altar and see how I made the ending of the game. Now I had to learn on how to package a game and make it ready for release. After tweaking and adding a lot of settings, I was ready to finally package the project and making it work on Windows. Then I just had to wait for the packaging to complete for the final part. I decided to release the game on itch.io, since it requires no fees to upload it and it looked pretty basic on how to make a product page for it. So I made some thumbnails, changed the layout and came up with a background story for the game. When I was happy with how it turned out, I only had to publish it. And then it was live for everybody to download. So check the description below to find the URL on how to get the game. It is now free to play, so please check it out and let me know your feedback. I hope you liked the video and I will finish with a short gameplay montage. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It really helps to continue with this channel and upload new videos.